Hi, hello, I'm Audrey Large and welcome to my studio. This is the workshop I work in here in Rotterdam, in Netherlands. I have a practice that is positioned in between digital sculpture and object design. In my work, I produce everything myself in the studio, so it's very, let's say, hands-on practice where I have my own machines. In this space you will find machines, but also where I sculpt in the computer. I bought my first 3D printer in 2018. And then from there, with projects, I could buy more and finally have this little farm and all this machine to help me with my production. Here I have shelves with 15 3D printers that are printing right now with PLA. We have all the tools that are associated to the machine and all the components. Nozzles, but also heating blocks and bottom tubes and fans and all these little parts that are always needs to be replaced. Here are also the tools that are for cleaning and handling the prints. So this is how one part is coming out once we remove the support. I always try to hide where the piece is assembled, so the object doesn't reveal how it was made. The middle of the workshop is then quite flexible. We have tables where we work on top, but sometimes everything is removed, depending on how many pieces there is in production. So this is a chandelier that is in the making, and here every part have been printed and actually assembled. When you have a piece like this, it's a bit bigger and a bit more complex. We start to put also metal structure inside. At the beginning I started with smaller pieces, but the very first piece I designed was actually a bowl or a vase or this idea of a container. And I would say I always had this reference to functionality or archetype of design. And since several years, I would say that this archetype of the vase is always coming back. I like shapes that are very maximalist and almost baroque, but I also kind of feel otherworldly. I kind of always have an eye on the machines, you know? And also it's nice because it's not really cutting production from creative work. So I'm always quite involved, let's say. I work mainly with the pen, and you can see that all these little lines, they were drawn, basically. I started to work with virtual reality, and I started to design this type of shapes, and I went back to this vase or vessel archetype. It's giving another dimension because it's even more intuitive. You can really turn around the object and you can do very intricate design. Here you have an object that has been 3D printed, that was made in virtual reality. I would say that sometimes drawings can be very intuitive and it's more about researching shapes, but sometimes it's also helping me about understanding the piece and the way it's going to be assembled, so it looks a bit more technical too. So actually this is a very old one, and you can see that I was like, this is going to be printed tonight, this is going to be printed on Wednesday, so this is when like schedule is getting tighter, you know. PostNL commissioned me to design their international stamps. And for me it was a funny assignment because I'm always working in object design field. I just went on the computer and I started to 3D model, and then I just had this very strict grid to play with because it's still an object with a lot of constraints. The design process and the making process felt very natural. And one thing that I find also very interesting is that at the end, maybe this little piece of paper, like the stamps, is one of the most functional objects I ever done.